recording?
Yeah, I'm recording.
All right. So I'm just going to talk about artificial intelligence for a couple of minutes, and then we can go home and enjoy our weekend. So, first of all, what exactly is AI and machine learning? First of all, artificial intelligence, it's the theory and development of computer systems that can perform tasks that usually use like human intelligence to do. Most modern examples of AI, they're not actually sentient like you would see in like a book or a movie. They usually just use machine learning to do whatever. Like they use algorithms and statistical models to get data, analyze it, and then, you know, allow the program to improve and learn stuff and imitate human actions. And yeah, it's kind of cool. I mean, it has a lot of uses. These aren't very practical uses, but they're pretty cool. It can analyze images, repair like pre-existing photos that have damages on them, and create AI-generated art and human faces, which you can see down in the corner. It can also be used for security. It can like analyze and find malware a lot faster than people can or just other programs. And they can utilize machine learning to intake like books, literary works, and put out a story based on the data that it has. And it's also everywhere. Most virtual assistants like Siri, you know, Bixby, and Alexa, they use AI to get more capable to understand like human voices and their requests. Facebook, things like Facebook and YouTube also use like AI to take in your information and what you do to give you ads that better fit your preferences, which is kind of creepy, but it's not really a well-hidden fact anyways. And emails use machine learning to filter your spam. LinkedIn uses machine learning to recommend profiles to you. Basically everyone is using it. And that's kind of scary. It's pretty scary. But it's also pretty stupid. So this is Cleverbot. It's like a conversation AI that intakes information from people talking to it, and it kind of imitates human conversation. And as you can see, I'm just going to go ahead and read this. So I say, hey, and Cleverbot says, how are you? Good, how are you? I'm great, thanks for asking. So what's up? Nothing much. So I'm working on a project right now. Several, actually. Excuse me, you're excused. Anyway, I was thinking of inserting a transcript of me talking to you for my presentation. If I just lay here. Right.
If I what?
If I just lay here. Would you lie with me and just forget the world? I'd love to, but I have a presentation that I've actually procrastinated enough on. What? Exclamation point, question mark. But you can't leave me. Starts to cry. So as you can see, you know, AI is not very advanced. It's not the very advanced thing out there, and it doesn't really sound like a human. So what can AI not do? They can't use common sense. Things that like we learn through just living in life, going through our world. AI can't really learn from those experiences. It just kind of learns from data that it intakes. So it doesn't really have the same knowledge that we do. It can't adapt to situations quickly. Because like in the real world, you're always taking in information and you have to adapt accordingly. But AI can't really do that as fast. They have to keep on analyzing the data, and it takes a lot more time. And they can't connect to humans. As you can see with the previous slide, they don't sound like humans, they sound weird and they sound creepy, and it's really uncanny. And will they take over the world? Probably not. Contrary to what the term implies, it's not actually sentient. We're not going to think of like, oh, we want to kill everyone now. That's not going to happen. They can't think for themselves, they just rely on algorithms. And they definitely don't have the capability to take over the world, but they can take our jobs. Many menial and repetitive tasks are already being taken over by like automation, robots. And because you don't have to pay them, they're not going to do unions. Despite this, there are a lot of jobs that artificial intelligence can take over, like HR workers, psychologists, politicians. That's Jeff Bezos.
Shouldn't that be Mark Zuckerberg?
He was like my second. He was like my runner-up. Okay. I picked him because, you know, like hiring robots, you don't have to pay them. No.
Fair.
Is he a robot though? I'm not really sure. If you look at his eyes, he's kind of robot-like. 3, so what's the point? What's the takeaway here? In the end, in the future, robots are probably not going to take over everything. although we don't know considering technology has been advancing really fast. And apart from the jobs that are being automated, which actually lowers wages a bit, which is kind of concerning, AI has actually been pretty helpful in the world, especially because they don't have as much margin for human error. And really, you should be more afraid of the companies that take your information and give it to everyone, but in the end, like, what can you really do with that? Final thoughts. Artificial intelligence is a pretty touchy subject, but in the end, as long as we don't make some kind of super intelligent AI that can actually be sentient and think for itself, we should be fine. And artificial intelligence itself doesn't really pose as much of a threat as the actual people and companies using it. Just don't give out your information to everyone, kind of just standard stuff. Thank you. Thank you for listening to talk.